Important. So it's so good to see everybody here today. And I feel like it's gonna be fun. We're gonna be connecting, talking a little bit about past lives and I don't even know, and soul family and I don't know, so many good things. Like every time we're like, we have such great ideas, and then um I don't know, like it kind of unfolds in so many different ways. So we'll see what happens. So if this
Do
is
you want to pin me? Pin me, pin you?
yeah, I did. I did. I
Oh,
did.
great, great.
I
Okay.
know. I don't know that it's going to make a difference, but your pins, at least I see you, I see me. I don't know how it's going to show up on anybody's screen, but this is how it looks. So, okay, so let's see. How do we want to start? So just for those of you who are joining us like the first time or for the first time, this is Tila and I are both psychic quantum healers, and we tap into all sorts of energy and healing and past lives and wonderful, amazing things in the universe that I don't know, people don't necessarily step into all the time. And so we thought as we do like the things that we do every day, which is energy work and past lives and soul contracts and looking at connections within the universe, we thought how amazing would it be to have other people to step into where we are, which is like our wonderland, and allow other people to tap into the magic of like just the universe, which is so amazing and expansive and incredible. And so Tila's in Israel and I'm now in Baltimore. And we are doing all sorts of things remotely to tap into our own intuition and healing and just like the spiritual psychic world and see how amazing it is. So we're happy that everybody's here and everybody can join us. I don't know if you want to write down either. I don't know. Let's ask like a question on this chat because I feel like it's so good to have involvement. You're like, I'm not interested. Okay, it's gonna,
Yeah,
yeah, it's gonna,
I'll humor you.
that's not nice. That's not nice.
Oh, I think
Well,
it's very nice.
yeah, I guess so. Well, because it can't just be like where you're from is interesting because everybody's from like all different places. So, like I always find it amazing because as everybody writes, the thing with like when you say where you're from,
Normally don't ask people what their spirit animal is because that's too woo-woo for
I'm
me.
not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not so out there, actually. Like, I actually don't like that.
Good.
Okay. Even though we speak about spirit animals and stuff like that. By the way, I was on this walk this morning. I was going to ask you. I was on this walk this morning, and all of a sudden, I'm walking in like Maryland with a friend, and there's like a million crows all around me. And I'm like, there's a meeting here. Like, I'm like talking about the animals. And I'm thinking to myself, how like, because okay, I'm not gonna put you on the spot, but like I do all these like animal readings and hear things and do all these things. And I know, like the animal world has its own like amazing language and more. So I'm like walking with my friends and I'm like, I'm just gonna tap in and hear the crows. And I'm like, I'm not gonna tell her. She's gonna think I'm crazy. Like I can't tell her.
So rather tell everyone, yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly, because this is the space.
Psychic's a bad name. That's what you do.
No, that's not true. I don't think
Okay.
so. I think it's a
Okay,
great
this
publicity.
isn't even our dynamic. Just a sec. You see, so you want to talk about that?
You can talk
Because
about
this
it.
dynamic, okay, so sometimes, and this happens quite often between us, but also happens sometimes on tea time where we adopt dynamics that aren't even ours, and it happens, and you should be aware of it because it can happen to you. Also, you can just find yourself in a dynamic that's not really yours, whether it's with your partner, with your child, and it's very good to be aware of that because it's not yours. So let me see whose dynamic it is. But it's your parents. So let me just clear that. Yeah.
So this is relevant a lot because what you just saw for the past few minutes is actually not how we interact or engage. Um, like there's a little bit of I don't know what you noticed. Like we can talk for a second on like how you felt or how I felt like
Kind of a bit, kind of, like just a bit stingy, kind of, which we don't usually have that. Then, where I kind of got into that place. and that I don't usually do that. So it's good to be aware and meta and see that, it can be cleared, and it's
And
really
you guys
important.
might know it also, and this is just an important thing. I guess this is how the universe kind of like started this tea time, which is sometimes we get into dynamics and we start saying things. Sometimes it happens if we've actually just spent a lot of time with somebody, we start to kind of act like them and take on their personality and take on how they feel and how they look and how they think. Like that's a real thing. And sometimes when we're with a group of people, we can actually take on a collective dynamic also, right? And so what we just did and what we just kind of modeled or showed you is how easy it is to step into that and how sometimes you might not be aware of it. And that's why also when sometimes after finishing a dynamic like that, you'll be like, what was that about? You'll just be like,
Yeah,
I
it's just like
wasn't
what
myself.
happened here. That's so not me, not. So it's really important to be aware of. And the idea is that we carry ancestral stuff. So we'll be carrying things. We can be carrying issues or dynamics from 4 generations back. And the reason that it comes through us is because we actually have the ability or the opportunity to actually fix that dynamic or fix that issue. And when we do that, we're helping the other souls that are connected to that.
Yeah. So just be aware of if you step into a dynamic that isn't yours and you find yourself saying, wait, why am I talking like this? Or why am I saying like this? Or you feel off and you have to have a really high, somewhat of a level of self-awareness in order to recognize that you're even off in the first place. But you'll turn around and you might realize after and say, I don't even know what that was about. You might even have a glitch in your memory and be like, I can't even feel what did I just do? Like, how did I just act like that? You have to be aware that it's very possible that it's not even yours. It's coming up to be resolved because you have awareness and you can clear it, you can resolve it, you can change a pattern, which is hopefully how the rest of tea time is going to be, is not stepping into horrible dynamics that aren't ours. Because I kind of like our dynamic way better than you know, parents' dynamic, to be honest with you. So moving along. So now, and this is important. Why is it important? It's important as we're talking about soul connections and past lives and soul connections and things like that. Do you want to? Because it's so important for that because as we step into past lives and as we step into things that have gone on in the past, we've been other people. We're stepping into like different relationships, different dynamics, different things like that. So it's really important because as we're calling up, Tehilla and I are going to talk a little bit about past lives and a little bit what that looks like and a little bit the dynamics that we're all in. And explain to you that so often with our past lives, what we're doing is we're stepping into different bodies in different lifetimes, but we have certain patterns that continue regardless of who our soul family is. So sometimes soul family will stay constant. Your mother was your father was your brother, your aunt was your whatever best friend. And we're going to show you these relationships. And sometimes the patterns show up because they're flipped patterns. There are things that we need to work on, things that we need to clear. Sometimes there's all these different dynamics, exactly like you just saw a dynamic. There's a dynamic that needs to be revealed and that needs to be replaced. And so that's why so often past life experiences come up because we're actually clearing and releasing dynamics, patterns that we're stuck, experiences that we've had, things that haven't worked for us in the past to allow for karmic healing through time. And that's actually what this is about. And that's what oftentimes how past lives come up for us. A long time ago, I'd be like, oh my God, this past life, this was so cool. I saw this, I experienced this. And even though looking at and seeing the past lives is amazing, it's also about moving onward and seeing what we have to learn from that past life in order to grow. So right now we're going to see, Tila, do you have anything to add about
Um,
that or?
I just the main thing is growth. So the whole idea is that we want to grow and evolve on a soul level, and that's why we have these past life connections, which come back again for us, in order to for both of us to grow, or it could be us in, but we can have like a whole past life with community or collective, which we often see, and the idea is expansion and growth, as painful as it might actually be. But once you actually understand it, you can reframe it, and then you have a better perspective, and you can choose differently, because when you can choose, that's actually the place of your power, and that's where you can actually resolve it.
Yeah. So that sounds great. So what we plan on doing is we have
Just Jody,
yeah.
is Rachel, do you want to talk to, just ask Rachel what happened? Because we worked with
Yeah.
Rachel and her daughter, so it's a great opportunity now just to speak to
Yeah.
Rachel, because it also had past lives, there was a whole thing there.
Yeah. Hey Rachel, how do you feel about that? Welcome, welcome. So hey Rachel,
Hi,
not
How
gonna
do
put you
you
on
feel
absolutely
about
happy to
that?
share.
but you know,
You can
have
put me on the spot whenever. It's all good.
Okay, great. So briefly, we saw Rachel a couple weeks ago on Tea Time, and do you want to summer or well, we had a kind of a little mini session experience with you talking about your daughter, and
And
kind
your
of like
husband also, and your soul contracts and the purpose in this world. It was a whole thing. And it's, you could, if you want to watch previous episode of Tea Time.
yeah, well, we're working on putting it on our website, livethepassionproject.com. So we're working on that, we're moving along. So yeah, so those will be up there. But at this point, we just like to kind of check in and see how like what you've noticed or what your experiences what were, and then how you kind of felt like there was a
Yeah,
shift
and
or
we haven't spoken because we haven't had a chance to speak to you since, right? So
No. Yeah.
yeah.
so let's hope we're in for a good surprise.
Right.
Yeah. I think the biggest takeaway that I had was at one point, Tehilla, you were clearing and you were kind of tapping in to me and you were like, "Oh, that's not yours." Like it was this like just very obvious to you that what I was sort of my hang up, and it was educational things with my neurodiverse kid who is struggling immensely, and we struggle to connect and feel like we are helping her and being a support to her. And it was around holding on to I'm holding on to traditional forms of education and systems, and it was not mine. It was my mother's, and it was just so beautiful. It was like I knew it already, right? Like intuitively, but to hear it in this setting, it was this like giant, like over the past weeks, this relief, and I've continually used it and journaled so much of like, that's not mine. No, thank you. That's not mine. No, thank you. And that's been just so helpful of doing the work I'm doing to continually to feel like a realignment of like if I'm feeling off about a decision or struggling, of stopping and going, wait a second, is this mine? And if the gut is, oh, that's not mine, then I can let it go a whole lot easier and keep moving forward with it. Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
work in progress for sure. Like it's not necessarily like, next day everything's
But the
solved.
thing is,
But
but the idea is that now, this is what I mentioned before, now you actually have choice. So when you realize you're aware of the pattern, and now you can choose whether you're going to be aligning with yourself or being your mom.
yes, which is such a thing. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And just trying to, the other big thing I'll share is that, so right, Dahlia is typical in the untypical of the neurodiversity of just thinking differently, functioning differently in this world, not fitting into any boxes. And one of the things that you both really affirmed and have affirmed in the past is that she's fine, right? She is from a different planet. She is got a toe in this world. And like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy has also stuck with me of analogy of like, I gotta just hitchhike with her. And that also has been something that has replayed over and over of like, she's fine. And I'm projecting so much of my own stuff onto like, oh, she must feel this way or she must be experiencing it this way. And realigning around that is really helpful. Again, the control of what I have control over.
That's great. That's so good.
Thank you
Because
so much.
thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks for asking.
Yeah, thank you. We want to know because Tehila and I just had this conversation because I said, I can clear stuff, you can clear stuff, it can be got whatever, but people really have to do the work. And really, like things come up here or in your own personal lives to be cleared because you've done so much work, and then they're cleared, and then you continue moving forward. It's not like this magical, thing. It's like you have to put in the time and the work.
Magical. It is magical.
No, it's magic. Look, I'm not saying it's not magic. It's freaking magic. But at the same time, you're magic. You are magic.
But
Okay.
No, I think the whole thing is what's the idea of tea time? And that's it's
Yes,
unveiling the magic of the universe.
of
It's
course.
magical, but not necessarily the way we think magic is.
Yeah, because it's not like, oh, there's no work involved. Meaning, like, the magic is now we get to clear this and she gets to go on her way. And no, the magic is crazy. Yes, her daughter, we told her a couple of weeks ago, you needed to affirm it for me because I thought that I was losing my mind when I was like, oh my God, I see that her daughter is from another planet. That's crazy. Okay, that is magic. That's nuts. Could you imagine if we thought that all these neurotypical kids were like, actually, they're from other planets and they're here to bring us things? Can imagine the reframe, so that is magic, knowing that we're not the only ones who are in charge of everything in this linear way. So that's amazing. And it offers expansion and new perspective. And yet, the work that she's doing herself is still, it's so amazing, that you get to journal and you get to think about it and you get to kind of have constant awareness. This isn't mine. This fear isn't mine. This feeling isn't all that. So that's so good. So it's both.
Right.
Thanks. Thanks, Rachel. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
So now, anything else? Like anything else on the list of things? Because I know we want to check in with Rachel.
No. Okay. Now, great. So
Okay,
moving on now.
great. Moving on. So now we're moving into past lives.
Yeah, we're moving into
soul
past lives and
connected.
connection. Yeah. So, right. So now we get to choose from the woman here, who has a soul past life connection.
Wait, before we do that,
yeah.
hold on. Can we just explain something? So this idea, and this is going to be continued because this is such a basic foundation of the Passion Project and of what we're trying to build in the world, which is all about collaboration, connection, women supporting women, women connecting to each other. Like the magic that you have, that we each have, that we each believe of our own intuition, of who we are, of our gifts, all of these things, like we actually need to like broadcast it into the planet. Meaning this idea that you're connected to somebody else and you can find her. Like you can find somebody, not just that it's your best friend who you know, which that's great, but it's also that there's a random woman who you don't and who can show up in your life and somehow like because somebody else can bring her in and all of a sudden she's in the Passion Project group and all of a sudden like you're making a connection with a woman who is a past life sister or a past life aunt and you can find somebody that way and immediately feel connected to them is so important. So I just want to say that and it really is magic, like the magic of tea time, the magic of the Passion Project, the magic of what we really wish to build here is that we're all tapping into something that's beyond time and space and like linear moving forward. It's this like incredible magic of the universe that we can meet somebody or we can be in a group with somebody and that you can add a friend and one of your best friends is connected to this random woman who's also in the Passion Project who might live far away. And the fact that you're connected and you have either something to heal, something to grow, something to share, it's so incredible. And never in people really don't see that. Like people really don't know that. People really don't tap into that. So that's why I feel so passionate about, this being a core idea of what tea time is, but what the Passion Project is. It's all about our divine feminine intuition, collaborating with other women, connecting with other women, seeing the magic of the universe and sharing and growing within each other. So that's really like the space. And in the Passion Project group, we were talking about connecting other women. If there's resonance that we need to share right here on the Zoom, and if you're watching it and you didn't make it to the Zoom, there are definitely other people who are this way. So, so this is the other piece also is it's so important to connect to other women. And we encourage you to find these connections because what we believe is we want to help you grow and empower you and connect you to who you are. But everybody has their own intuition and everybody is so magical and so incredible. So what we help you do is we help you tap into that magic, see how powerful you are so you can allow yourself to grow. So,
and meeting a woman, and I've meeting a woman that you know from a past life and that you instantly have that click, that chemistry, for me it's like the best feeling. It's such a gift. It's like getting another piece of your soul. And it always happens in the most random way. like suddenly you know you move into a new place and the neighbor is like someone that you have. I always check when I meet people. I always check either before the meeting or during the meeting whether I know them from past lives or not. But it's so great that suddenly your neighbor or this woman who's, you know, your children are friends and you just talk to her in the park and suddenly you realize that there's this amazing chemistry. So some granted, some past life connections are more charged. So you have issues with people and some people trigger you. You just have to look at them and they trigger you already because you have a past life thing that you have to resolve with them. But they're also the most amazing past life connections that can really support you and help you in your life. And we actually we had these sessions. When did we do a session where there were where we found like friends, right? Do you remember that, Jodi? Where there were those two friends that met and they were support. They had very similar lives with very similar family issues, but they were able to support and help each other because they were able to give each other perspective. So they weren't like mixed within the whole family dynamic, but they were just helping each other over, you know, tens of decades. They were there to support each other. So that's just one example.
Yeah. So we're gonna show
Can I
you.
ask a question?
Oh, sure.
I asked it, I tried raising my hand and I asked it in the chat. Is it possible that we could do introductions? Just even if it's your first name and this where you're calling in from. I mean, if this is about connections, I'd like to know who's on the call.
Lisa, we're not really going to do that here because this is tea time and it's a more like that. This isn't the space. Like this is almost like the way that we imagine tea time is it's more of kind of like a less intimate unless you're called up and unless it's relevant for you. Otherwise, there's a lot of people who watch tea time. We have other classes, like for example, I give a monthly class, or there are other classes or other opportunities. They're more specific and more individualized. But this space is actually meant to share information and to kind of the universe downloads us and gives us information that's relevant for us that we then share, in the space. So that's why we kind of we kind of hold the space different.
Great idea. That said, it is a great idea, but just for when we do workshops and settings that are meant to begin with to be intimate and we're working with all the women and with the dynamic. So that's what we do.
Yeah. So definitely check out some of the other options of classes or things that we do because there is time for different spaces and different ways to be held. So so let's see now though who's going to kind of show up and who's,
Okay, so let's see.
Yeah.
Let me just look. Okay. So Erica and Sip. Is that how you say Sip? Yeah.
Okay.
Erica.
I'm here.
Okay, great. So hi, if you want
You have
to
your cameras closed, but okay.
have a camera open maybe because it's easier to see faces.
I can in one minute.
Okay, sure. So let's see. This is going to be fun. I always say this is like such great TV. I don't know why people watch the stupidest things on TV. This is so much better. Like to see past life soul connections. Like, oh my God, that's great TV.
Well, remember Long Island Medium?
Yeah, but this is even better than Long Island Medium. You're going to see, Erica. Like you're gonna tell me it's better. I like the Long Island Medium. I'm from Queens. Like I get it. I've never go over. When we are in Israel, Tehilla and I were like, oh, we should go over to this person and be like, oh my God, you do this, you do this. You have this gift. That they're
okay.
I don't know. We don't do that stuff. We just hold spaces like tea time for it. Okay, so let's see what's
okay, so we've got Erica and we've got Sip.
Okay.
Is that how I pronounce your name?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, great. So let me see. So you have 7 past lives together.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Let's see why and why it's coming up.
Yeah, let's see the whole thing. Okay, so as what? Same capacity, every time in a different capacity. So what is it? Was it family? It was never family. Friends, never friends. The village, no. Not really friends.
Let's
It
talk
wasn't
about,
family. It wasn't friends. And
yeah,
it wasn't the community. It wasn't in the community. Then what's left?
great. It's either business, what they're doing, an outside help and support. Let's see, are there any questions that we need to ask them in order to get to this?
How can that be? It's not family. It's not family. It's not friends. Like they have 7 past lives together, but they don't even know each other.
What?
So this is just what I'm hearing. Like
Go
what?
ahead.
So they have 7 past lives together. So meaning they had well on the planet at the same time, but they didn't even know each other for 7 lifetimes. Okay, that's
So they were
interesting.
on the same on the planet at the same time without knowing each other.
Knowing each other.
By the way, like there's a lot of people on the planet who I don't know. Like that's not such a
Yeah.
big deal.
But the thing is that but the idea is that each they hold a certain resonance.
Mhm.
Okay. And that's why it's coming up. So this is interesting. I haven't read this. You know, time is surprised. Okay, so you both hold. Each of you have similar. No, you don't have similar resonance. You have complementary
Complementary resonance.
resonance. Right. Okay. And that's the way it's supposed to be. That you have this complementary resonance. Like I say, we're hearing this just like you are. I'm trying to figure it out. So there's this complementary resonance that each of you holds. Jodi, can you see more? Because I
Yeah.
can't see any more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
great.
kind of want it to be experiential. Like a part of me wants other people to like experience it because because I love this. Because like Erica holds a certain, it's almost like a range. It's almost like a difference of a vibration. So like I almost want you guys to talk and to share and not and to like share because you're both different and you have this like incredible, unique it's not just beauty, it's the way that you hold a space and the way that you attract different people and the way that people are attracted to you and what you're sharing with the world is actually very different. But together you actually ground and hold each other. So I want to kind of let's see.
I'm so glad you have that because I don't get any of that information. I'm like I'm hanging there.
Oh, okay. So let's kind of start. The only question is I'm trying to decide if it should be like they should share and or I should
No,
just say.
you just say. I'm hearing you should just say.
Okay, so
And then they can say, they
what
can say what
resonates?
brought up from that. Yeah, what resonates,
Okay.
whatever. Yeah.
So, Sip, the thing with you, and what I want everybody to do is, as you can look, like you guys are here because you're meant to give a sense of, like, people are actually meant to be, you're eliciting a reaction or a feeling from somebody by just actually being there, by actually seeing your face on the screen. People are actually kind of like connecting to you or feeling into you. And this is like what's really good for everybody as you're looking at Sip and you're looking at Erica. It's actually good for you to kind of say, okay, like, what do I feel? Can I lean into you? Can I not lean into you? How do I feel when I look at you? What's being brought out of me? Because what's interesting is for Sip, there's something around you, which is it's grounded. I'm going to start with you. There's a groundedness. There's also feeling of like a security, a safety, a support, feeling like you're not going to let me down. I'm just talking because you're not going to let me down. I feel like I can really lean into you. And I also know that you're going to be available. I'm hearing
Like a very nurturing kind of space.
yeah, very nurturing, very not just loving, but like really like I feel like if I had a problem, I would like, like I can imagine myself being a little girl and holding your leg or your skirt and being like, oh, like help me. Like there's this feeling that I get, which is what you give to so many people, which is this feeling of love and support and nurturing, like Tehilla was saying. And that's extremely important. And so, if any of you kind of want to feel into that, but that's the feeling that SIP actually holds. That's a certain resonance that she holds for people on the planet. And that's also not just for people on the planet. That's also like as women, to be honest, that's actually a resonance that we hold as women. We're nurturing, we're loving, we're supportive, we're connected. We want, people to come to us and understand us and tap into, and just feel like that.
Yeah, it's a maternal vibe, very maternal vibe.
Yeah. And comforting in that way. Now, Erica, there's something okay, so that's SIP. Erica, you have a complementary vibe, which doesn't mean, which is, again, there has to be a flip side. Like everybody has to be different. We can't all hold the same resonance. It's like impossible. And so, Erica, you have this, it's such a, oh, it's so great. It's like I don't want to say fun adventure. There's like the opposite of it's not necessarily the opposite of nurturing. It's actually allowing people the inspiration and the drive to try new things or go out a little bit on the edge. And like, oh, you know what? Like you're going to be okay if you do this. And you actually elicit within people a wondering if of what will happen if. Like, oh, maybe there's optimism and a possibility and unique surprise.
Like mystery. It's like a mystery or some allure kind of. So it's like that's the
Yeah.
vibe.
It's like, on the one hand, like I want my kid to stay home with me and love when he's sick and when he's comforted. And then at the next time, I want him like on another day to go out and like jump off a cliff and like into a waterfall because like, why not? That's also a type of like the way that you have to live on the planet. And so there's something that's like really beautiful, Erica, about the inspiration and the excitement and how you give people and how your resonance is actually what brings this optimism, hope, trying new things, wondering what's going to happen, tapping into the mystery and the excitement of life. That's a resonance that you hold for other people. And it probably shows up like each of these things, I'd imagine show up in your life in some way, in your job or in what you do or in who you are or how you support each other, because this is actually the balance. I mean, this is what's unique to each of you, but it's also the balance of what we have to do as women here and what we have to do in our lives is how we can be, how we can be nurturing and grounded and loving and supportive, and how we can also want people to kind of move forward, try new things for the adventure in our everyday. And so that's why both of these things have to kind of be around at the same time. So I'd love to hear, Tehilla, do you have anything to add or did I miss anything?
You did a great job.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. So what do you guys feel like? I just want to have like a check-in. SIP, Erica, how do you feel, or does that resonate, or what does that look like in your life?
I think you got it pretty spot on. So first, I'm here, my daughter's here, and I literally just said to my daughter right before you called my name, I'm like, she's for sure gonna find someone with me. I just feel it, it's happening. She's definitely gonna call on me. No, you're definitely correct. That is like also professionally what I do. I work with moms and babies right postpartum. And that's like kind of the key is exactly what you were saying, the grounded, the nurture. Yeah, it was pretty spot on.
Great. So happy. Thanks.
So validating every time.
It's so validating for me. Erica,
yeah, for me too. It was totally spot on. That is my energy in general. I think as it relates to SIF, it's like I am all about the mystery and the magic, but I need to stay grounded. And if not, like, that's not a good thing. I'm an entrepreneur, so I just started a business called the Heartprint Project, so heartprintproject.com. And it is so related to everything that you're talking about. So the H experience, like the human experience and being able to tell it and feel it and share it and heal it with regards to a technology, an app that preserves your legacy and allows you to funnel through life and chart your experiences. So like, that's exactly where I'm at. And as I'm dreaming and scheming, and I actually created this huge vision that really turned into kind of people thinking that I was like imagining it and dreaming it. And it's because I do see it as a disruption of social media, but it got so big in a way that I was portrayed. I had to have my own story to rise to the level of the project. I really went wayward for a while. And so the grounding aspect and you calling out Sip on this call relates to me in that way. So I wouldn't be surprised if we were on the same planet, but maybe in a work capacity.
Yeah,
And or reminding me what needs to happen now.
And that's so interesting because I say this on a daily basis. I'm all heart, no business. And I mean, like, I have my own private practice, but it's like almost comical how much I just don't even like, my mind doesn't open up to the business side of things. And I'm just like, okay, like, I don't even know how it works. It somehow pulls itself together, that piece of it. But I just want to treat. I just want to be with these moms and heal and be that healing presence. And then when anybody says anything on the entrepreneurial side, like you should grow, you should expand, my brain like shuts off. I'm just like, no, it's not me. And it's like so interesting that you're the complement to that because it's like literally like almost like the missing piece in my brain.
Well, and I do have the business called readysetleap.com, and I like literally help businesses launch from the business perspective. And the irony is Heartprint Project, my new business, is actually the first business born from the heart. Everything else is just born from the head.
I love that. I love this. Don't you love this?
Yeah,
Like getting such a hit watching this. It's so good.
That's great. So that was good.
I love
I feel like this is going to sound crazy, but this just came to me. I feel like there was a capacity where it was some kind of in a past life where we had a like I healed you in some way, like almost like doctor patient relationship. I don't know, that's what's coming to me.
Like from that maternal side. Yeah, that's been my story over the last 18 months has been developing the side that I never had and healing inside.
So the thing is, what happens, and this is just what I'm hearing, it's in these past lives, you never actually knew each other or met each other, but because you complement each other, so you kept when one of you grew and expanded, it actually affected the other person. So you're just like, when you're constantly balancing. So if you stretch your hand this way, the other person has to stretch their hand that way in order to balance. So your actually your growth is your growth is linked together. So Jodi, can you see that?
Yeah. That's why Sip, and that's why you guys have right when you're talking, you kind of have this. Do you see how you guys have this great connection that you're talking an idea, you're talking about an idea? There's a little bit of, it's just kind of like the way you're feeding off of each other. Feels like there's connection, resonance, but an opposite.
You actually made that way. So you were made to sort of complement each other. So every lifetime you'd come down as a set. You'd be put in one place, and like Eric would be put in one place and Sip in the other place, and you just kind of grow together.
Yeah. So I think you guys are both actually like in the group, and we can connect you, or we can somehow, something like that. And and that's why we love random people joining the group, because you guys would never meet actually otherwise.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so amazing. Like when we do these tea times and when we do these spaces, because it actually allows for collaboration, and who knows to what capacity of collaboration. But it's just, again, like having somebody in your life, in your field, in whatever resonance and awareness that you have, it just kind of like inspires you to move in a certain space. So thank you both of you so much, because just like you inspired each other, you've helped everyone in the group.
Can I
too.
say one more thing?
Yeah, please.
So I feel like it's also bigger than that in terms of like the fact that I'm even on this call and I'm not unique. It's like kind of random, right? Like I feel like, oh my goodness, I just found it here and there. But I felt like it was in such alignment with Heartprint Project that I like for something that was an unknown value, but I needed to do it. And so the reason that I'm feeling compelled to talk about this though is not because of the business. It's because of what happens when you get all into this stuff. This was not me at all. 18 months ago, my life completely changed because I 100% experienced signs, knowing that there was bigger, unbelievable what I saw as magic and what other people saw as, oh my goodness, she's losing it. And I just want a word of caution that not everybody can hold this space and that it's scary. And if people don't recognize you in this capacity, it can be very lonely and isolating, and you can second guess yourself. And so ironically, the business that I was creating, which is basically a capsule for you to tell your story in a safe place, was related. And I then went through this experience. So I just want to call it out because mine was very painful going through it and not having a community and not having people that understood, or having people that kind of understood a little bit because they would see it and they would be part of the magic, but then you kind of threaten their reality and there's no paradigm and then they completely turn or betray. It happened to me. And I had a very big normal life and it got turned upside down. I don't believe it was all for naught, but I felt compelled to share that because I went through so much pain during it.
Thanks so much, Erica, because I think that's a part that's so important because that to share and to be aware of, because that's a part of the process and it's relevant to the passion project too, because it is like, and that's actually in the past 18 months, Tehilla and I met like literally 18 months ago or so.
That's funny.
Yeah, because I think that's in this lifetime anyway, because I think that's what happens. Like I was busy doing my psychic thing. She was doing business, homeopathy, psychic thing. And I think what happens is all of a sudden I channeled the Passion Project and it's like, oh, we're starting something called the Passion Project, which is awakening humanity to their passion and their purpose and what they're supposed to be doing, which is actually the opposite of what you think you're supposed to be doing, because that's how the world has been instructing you. Go on this path, do this thing, be rigid, and the whole point about finding your passion and finding your soul connections and finding who you're supposed to be is exactly like you said, Erica. It's totally shocks everybody else. People are like, wait a second, you're not playing by the rules anymore. I mean, trust me, like, yes. Like, and if anybody knows, if they've followed their passion, and it leads you to these places that you can't even imagine. I mean, I did not think that I would be going to Israel as often as I do in the way that I do. And, and starting this project, this wasn't really what I had imagined. And so I think that this is a part of the passion of our passions and our unique soul purpose is that like we go through things and we find courage that we've never believed we had, strength that we never believed we had, signs like divine help, magic, all these different things in order to help support us. But you're right, like you lose people, you form a new community, which is why I feel like Tea Time and the monthly group that we do, all these things are so important because it creates community, and more women right now are actually moving into alignment with their like divine passion and purpose. And we need a space like that focuses on, in this way, what we feel is like this container, so if it resonates, great, you're meant to be here in whatever capacity. If it doesn't, there's another space, for you. But that's kind of so important. So I'm so happy that you shared that, Erica. Thanks so much.
And also, I'd just like to say, like, for example, I don't share so much, like if you're on the Passion Project group, then you notice that I almost never write anything apart from a few comments here and there. And Jodi and Jodi, but since I've noticed, I've known Jodi, she shares so much. And in the beginning I was like, oh my God, how can you write that? How can you write that? Because it's just so, things I know or see, but I never share it with anyone. And the fact that Jodi just keeps sharing all these crazy things, it actually sort of made me also feel more open to share things that I experience. Not that I reach her level, and I don't aspire to reach her level of openness and sharing, but I think that the more you're exposed to this on a daily basis, it makes you feel comfortable also with things that come out for yourself. So I think that's very great,
Yeah, and as women especially, and I no, thank you, because I think, Tehilla, like the thing is, and like we all have had to shut off parts of ourselves, things that we didn't feel was important, things that we were made fun of, things that we were victimized for, things that we felt like we had to hide, all of these different things. And so actually to have a space to share these things is so important. So thank you so much, and we can connect soon, and if you guys want, you can connect on the chat. Do you think we have time? Because I think let's see.
Let's see if we can get
One more in or something like that. Thanks so much.
We need to get someone more in. Just like Let me see who else. See, I've got Ilana, right, and iPhone 10.
Oh, great.
And Ilana, that's how you pronounce your name?
Oh, hold on.
That's right. Ilana.
Yeah.
Ilana. However you want to say it.
Great. And iPhone 10?
Where's iPhone?
Georgia, and you?
Is that me?
Yeah,
Okay, Noah from Israel,
I know.
by the way.
So, okay.
Wait, I
So
can't
let's see.
find iPhone 10. Hold on. Where's
What?
no? Did you change? Okay, hold on. Sorry. I just wanted to. Okay. Hi. Okay. Sorry about that.
Okay. So
Okay.
we've got Noah, otherwise known as iPhone 10.
I didn't know.
It's okay. So, okay. So let's see what we have here. How many past lives? So many past lives. It's like, I'm not even counting. Okay. And let's see in what capacity. Maybe this is going to be normal for a change.
Nothing's normal. I mean, we see normal,
Yeah.
but you know.
Yeah, okay. So, okay, mother-daughter. So mother-daughter in every single lifetime, and there were many. Who was the mother? Every time it flipped. Okay, so in some lifetimes Ilana was the mother and Noah was the daughter. In some lifetimes Noah was the mother and Ilana was the daughter. So that's what I see. Jodi, do you want to see?
I feel like
look
a
more
little something in my stomach. Like maybe we can clear, like there's something that I can
Okay.
see, but I can't.
So let's just explain how this works. So Jodi Jodi's an empath, and she feels into the collective or into people, and then she tells me what needs to be cleared, and I clear it or I look at it, and then we understand from what's going on with Jodi about the dynamic of the people that we're looking at.
So, and the way
So-
that it works is because I use my body, so we can understand information, right? Like we can understand things from our head. We have so many different centers to understand and tap into information. What I do is I use my body, or my body uses me somehow to like give me information and insight. And so sometimes it'll be not body related, but in this particular case, there are certain things that'll come up and it's almost like my body is giving me like, pay attention to me. It's like the loudest child in the room gets the cookie or not. I don't know, gets to be put in the corner. So for me, it's like, that's how I feel. I feel like there's something going on in my body. And then I kind of, I'll hear things, I'll see things. And in this case, I'm feeling things that are just going to give us insight as to your pattern and your relationship and what you're here to look at, understand about yourselves or together.
No, why are you so stressed?
I'm not that healthy.
Yeah.
And why am I stressed? I don't know. Maybe
Okay.
being in the spotlight is not easy for
Yeah,
me. I don't know.
Okay, you just see you get stressed. Okay, so I'll focus on Jodi and not on you. Okay. And
Yeah, so you don't even have to look at it. It's not meant to be painful and it's not meant to put anybody in the spotlight. And you're surrounded by people who are here. Like the universe, literally, like the universe doesn't give us anything that's made to put you in a place of like, a lot of times what we're worried about is we're worried about fear. We're worried about being called out. We're worried about like something's bad is going to happen to us. Like this isn't the space for that. And so, so nothing bad like that is going to happen. Maybe it's something's coming up to be released, but it's not coming up to be looked at and to be, like, yeah, it's not.
in a negative way. So the idea is if the universe kind of guided me to choose both of you, it's supposed to be like, first of all, something that resonates with everyone here and something to help you heal and reach a resolution, and everyone here resonates with it, and they're also supposed to help everyone also. So
Okay,
that's like a disclaimer.
thank you. I just want to move through these feelings that are not good. So,
Okay, so let's
I'm
move.
like, so let's just move through. Okay, so something in my, and the reason why it's in the body is because the body is again like that little kid in the room who wants the cookie, and he's like, pay attention to me, pay attention to me. So if I have an issue, for example, in my stomach or in my throat or my chest, as things are coming up, it's actually things that are going on in the body. It's like this mind-body connection that you might have shut down, you might not have paid attention to, and it's things that are being called up to be released, because our bodies are actually on our side, and they want us to be healthy, and they want things to be good, and so they give you insight and information. So okay, so let's just look. I feel something in my stomach. Okay, stomach, solar plexus, stomach,
Yeah,
throat.
wait, yeah, throat is the main thing. Let me clear that.
And it's tied then to the stomach, because there's a feeling of this
Yeah,
in the
yeah, it's
throat
about
that
not
creates
being that
restriction.
like there's emotions in the stomach, and they don't make it past the throat, so they
Yeah.
get pushed down every time, you know.
Yeah. So it's like you want to say something, you're like, I'm not going to say it. Fine, I'll just be quiet. And then it creates this like feeling in the stomach. And I actually feel it in my right
Yeah,
hip too.
like
No,
bile coming up. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
just
Like
like
I'm
as
gonna,
I slam it down every time.
it's like you don't know if you want to vomit or scream. A friend of mine said to me today, she's like, I want to go into the forest with a group of women and just scream. That's literally what she said to me. I got
You
that
need to go
text.
into the car. She just go in the car.
Right. That's what I said. I'm like, okay. But I get it. I get it too. Because, but and I also feel this. So that's the throat, this constant
Yeah.
feeling as women. And we're like, why aren't you listening to me? Like I just can't. So it's like stuck in the throat and the solar plexus.
Okay.
That's one thing. And I'm holding it in,
Yeah.
which maybe I like don't want
Right.
to breathe. I like don't really want to breathe very much, meaning like I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't actually
Yeah,
want to
this is,
inhale. I actually feel like I just want non-movement.
I tell you why, because it's so, what I feel is just like so full, it's brimming, it's about to overflow. And even if it's like there isn't room for air, even like if
Yeah.
if you put air in, you're just gonna come, you're just gonna vomit it out. So you just wanna leave, no pressure, no pressure on that area. So let's clear that. Okay. What else?
My right hip, but it's like not my right hip. It's like the top of my thigh, like my right top of my thigh, my right leg, something there. It feels like it's pressure, and it's also moving me.
But there's a string tying it to what?
Something.
Something tying it. It's
What
pulling
else?
on something.
Back. I'll tell you other parts. I'm not done. So
Yeah,
it's the throat,
it's a long
the
list.
thing, the back. What'd you say?
I'm saying there's a long list.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, something in what else is there? Oh gosh, it's like, but because it's on my whole right side. Why am I getting distracted?
Okay, it
It's
won't
just
be released until we understand the mother-daughter dynamic.
yeah.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so
You want me to go? Go.
let's look at the mother-daughter dynamic. And it's actually a dynamic that what I'm hearing is that you took turns in playing. So when every time the mother always took on the same dynamic and the daughter always took out the same dynamic, and you just played it out, but every time you flipped, but it's the same dynamic, and it needs to be released. It hasn't been released. Every time things just keep being playing out the same, so you're trying to figure it out every time. So you come as a daughter, you come as a mother, but it's like
But it's
this
the same
loop
issue.
that doesn't reach any resolution, and it's so frustrating. And the thing is that it just the frustration accumulates, because it's not resolved, and it just goes and accumulates. And that's why this whole, like, Jodi's experiencing this fullness, that you can't anymore. It's just so frustrating.
And probably you in your own life, to some capacity, I'd imagine, are experiencing this. Whatever this is that we're talking about, like you're both nodding. So I feel like there's this frustration, this throat thing, this solar plexus thing. I feel like I have nothing in my mind at this point. I don't know what else to do. Like I'm I'm like really like I can't move forward. So I would just like this to be kind of cleared I can't even look at it. Like it's almost like I've looked at it ad nauseum. We can look
Okay.
at the issue. Do you want to look at the specific
So
thing?
let me see, maybe, let's see, maybe I can clear soul contracts. Yeah, I can. Okay, so soul contracts are contracts that we make on a soul level, either with ourselves or with other people in order to help us grow. Now, at some point, they stop serving us because either they don't promote growth anymore, really. And that's what I'm seeing is happening with you. Both of you have these soul contracts regarding this dynamic, which at this point is already, you've had it up till here really with that dynamic, and it's ready to be released. So you have soul contracts between the two of you, which I'm clearing.
Can we look at the dynamic?
And just 1 sec, and soul contracts with yourselves. So people, you also have soul contracts with yourself, keeping you in this loop, which is just so frustrating. So let's clear that for you. Okay. How's that looking? That released, I'd say 15%, but no, it's not enough.
Yeah, because I want to talk about this issue. I actually feel like I'd like to talk about this issue.
Great. Oh, so the throat is released. Great.
Thank God. Okay, so here's this dynamic, and this is actually a dynamic for every mother and every daughter or every woman, like every woman. Like I resonate with both sides. I'm so happy to be discussing this. You know, when you have clarity, and Alana, I feel like you'll resonate with this. Like you have clarity and you see clearly what needs to be done in a certain situation. Like you have direct insight, right, Alana? You're like, I'm looking at this situation. I know what needs to be done. I don't understand why nobody's listening to me. I'm laughing because I've said it 8,000 times myself, like in the past week. Like, I don't understand why nobody's listening. It's so simple. It's so clear. And especially when talking to a child, or especially when talking to a daughter, for example, you're like, why don't you do it this way? Life would just be so much better if you just listened to me. Like, why are you not agreeing with what exactly I'm talking about? And now, as a mother who's constantly perpetuating this, the amount of energy that you're putting in, the amount of resources that matter, the time, the frustration level, the clarity. And this is what I'm hearing Alana you saying is like, I don't know how I could be more clear about this. Like I am so clear about what it is that needs to be done and needs to be taken care of, that how, like, what land are you living in that you don't do things the way that I see things? So that's how I see. And as mothers and as women, I think we all like have
I've
experienced
had a taste of that.
so much. Like you are not alone. Like, by the way, like you're not alone. You're just at your wit's end, because it's like you've gotten to the point where you just want to take a deep breath and move on with it. Like you don't even care anymore about the issue. You just are disgusted with it. It's like, something that you've worked on for so many times. You're like, if I see this again, like a paper, like a project, like something, it's like, enough. I don't care anymore, just whatever, like that's how you feel about this in your family, in like your life with certain situations. You're like, I just can't. So this is the dynamic as a mother that we deal with. Does that resonate a lot with you, like just in that level? Yeah. It's just, and it's hell. It's really hell. It's really like a version of hell here on earth. Like it is. It's not, I'm laughing about it, but it's not to be laughed at. It's actually horrible. It's actually horrible. Like the amount of pressure, tenacity, resilience, stress from your stomach that you're like, I'm gonna just move that. Like you just can't. So that, oh, it's so frustrating. And I feel like you feel like people are listening, but they are, it's this whole dynamic, that comes up. And then the flip side of the dynamic is like the child who's kind of like, I want to do my own thing. I listen. I want to have fun. why are you so serious? Like, I don't even know what you're stressed out about. And then they take on these different levels of like connection, disconnection, disassociation, pretending they're not hearing, pretending they don't understand, like all of these different types of experiences that you'd imagine a child would do when you have a mother, a parent who's like wants to like literally bring you by the neck and be like, get it together. What is wrong with you? So there's this dynamic that plays out between a mother and a child. And the flip side too, where a child's like, why don't you let me do my thing? I see your thing, but I want to do something else that possibly allows for more expansion and more light and more fun and more, you know. So there's this dynamic that's kind of playing out. And I'm feeling it in all these places, which is why I feel so passionate about about saying it, because it's actually I see both sides and I feel into both sides, and it feels like I'm having my own tug of war, which is what each of you, like what Tehilla was saying, is a mother daughter mother daughter. You're constantly playing out this dynamic. Well, I want to do my own thing. I don't care. I don't care about what you're saying. I want to do what I want to do. It's like you're both playing out and have played out this dynamic of the frustration of wanting to get somebody to do what you want them to do, and the frustration of them not listening, and then you having the experience of you not listening and you being stubborn and going the other way. So it actually is this whole prism of things. So now that I feel like I've said it, like, and it resonates, maybe we can move on from this. Am I missing anything, Tehilla? Do you think
Just say,
we have?
now, what do you think? Or what do you feel?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's start with the throat. I have a hard time speaking, but Monday Jodi, I think you wrote, I woke up like that. And when you were choosing, I'm thinking, she's going to choose me because something's going on.
The throat.
So
I,
yeah, I feel sick. I mean, this is in my voice. And so that's the beginning. Like, I was surprised. And then when you said about mother-daughter, I can't say that I'm the daughter who doesn't listen, because in the last couple of years, I'm having trouble mother-daughter. I was very close with my mom. I'm still close, but I'm very angry. I'm having issues. I'm not a person who fights. Like when you say that, it's like, I want to do my thing. Actually, I never did. I was always a good girl and I always do what everyone wants. So I'm not exactly sure how to relate to there's certainly a mother-daughter issue in my life for now. And but I don't know exactly where.
So thank you. Now that's part of what we saw in Jodi was actually, it's like many times you want to do your own thing, but you don't say it. So you don't express it. And that's when you have all these emotions in your stomachs. Like you have this sensation, this emotion that you want to do, you want to say, and you can't express it. That's actually part of the issue.
That I'm very familiar with. I've been
Yeah.
that's I know that. And it's
Yeah. So
frustrating.
that's what we were looking at. That sort of mechanism that works when you know what you want, but you actually can't say it, you can't express it, and you constantly suppressing that inner voice, and that creates so much of this frustration and anger and like this bile that actually comes up. So that's what we were looking at, and that's what we actually want to release, right, Jodi?
I hope.
yeah, yes,
Right.
yes. Because my throat, I was actually like, where's my throat things? I have this whole, I even said before, I was like, my throat, it's not even mine. It's this collective throat thing. Like, yeah.
Okay, so let's see. So actually, what needs to be released first, so it's good that we spoke, because so what we want to release is basically, what is it? What emotion? What's actually stopping you from expressing yourself, from expressing that inner voice, which comes down from such a basic like root kind of center from like the bottom of your stomach, from your abdomen, like it's so deep and it's constantly being suppressed. Now, why would you want to do that? For the both of you, So let's see, it's a past life thing. It's not a past life thing. What is it? It's not soul contracts. It's not a past life. And it's yours. Then what is it,
It's
Jodi?
the way that why she wants to do that.
Yeah, why? But why is this? What's? It's not. It's not a past life thing. It's not ancestral,
It just
and
never,
it's theirs.
yeah, it's this constant, but it never got, resolved. It never got
Oh,
resolved.
okay. I see it. I see it. I see it. Okay, so this is it. So in the dynamic, and that's why this is what you are both missing in your dynamic. The whole idea is that as mothers, you were actually supposed to encourage your daughters to voice that, to voice those emotions, to voice that you know the desires and what comes in. But what happened is every time the dynamic was all about suppressing and basically trying to get your daughter to do things the way you saw that they should be done. So instead of encouraging, so each of you was actually got the wrong guidance and you weren't encouraged to express who you really are. And that was a loop that you kept
You kept thinking, like you
sustaining.
were saying, oh, to be a good girl, or let me follow, do what you're supposed to be doing, like this theme of like supposed to be doing because this is the path that's right, either as a mother or as a daughter. That's it's not so true. Like you have that kind of fire that comes from within inside you that we were just talking about, which is your own internal passion. And that's what kind of has to come up. And it's like, well, this is what I need to do, like this is my calling or this is what I want. And that fire that's inside of you has to come up. And if it doesn't come up and if it's suppressed, then it feels so horrible in the throat. It feels like bile. You feel it in your stomach. You feel the heat. You feel the anger. So it's something that needs that resolution to come up, to recognize that there's no person on the planet that can actually know exactly what you need. But as a mother or as a daughter, what we have to do is we have to look and say, this is what I need. How can you support me? Or how can you see it? And then bring it up for me, like really nurture that fire and bring that fire up. And that's actually the job of a mother, is to say, wow, my daughter loves this. Okay, that's crazy, but assuming it's not going to hurt her, assuming it's not going to be that bad, that's not something that I would choose. But okay, like maybe there's a reason. How can I nurture that? How can I love on that? How can I, how can I raise that so that she steps into herself? And that's the healing that we get instead of suppressing that and bringing that down.
So what I see is, so we released all these soul contracts that you had with yourselves and past life. So now you're actually, you have more of a choice. So now what I see is you just have to be, and it's not going to happen overnight, but it's the work, so to speak, is just being aware and giving yourself the autonomy to do and say. Now you don't have to always, the thing is, and many times we confuse between being aware of our choices and our desires and acting upon them and voicing them. You can also start by just, first of all, being aware of what you want and what you desire, validating it, voicing it, and you don't have to act on it right away. Acting on it is like a more advanced stage. Just give yourself the time and the space to just act upon it when you feel it's right, but give it space, sort of, and honor it and respect it, because that you can't suppress that inner voice. It's just it will just
Yeah.
becomes kind of, there's just so much you can push down. So that's what I'm seeing, is just that now you have awareness and choice, and just be very gentle with yourselves, because there's so many lifetimes and patterns that are being released, and just observe and let it come slowly.
Yeah. And you can, it's almost like we don't have the space here really. It requires like processing or sharing or just kind of being aware, at least with yourself, to see.
You can process with each other, actually, and that's what I see. It would be so healing if both of you would process this with each other. That would be amazing for both of you. So if you can kind of, I don't know how
Yeah,
you
you can
connect.
message each other like on the chat now, private message. But I think that, yeah, that's such a good idea because you don't even know each other. So
Oh,
And I haven't heard Ilana say anything about what you said.
yeah. So it'll be interesting to see because you have no resident. That's what's so amazing is like you can actually talk about it and remember it, but you don't know.
yeah,
Like
it's not triggering like it would have before if you would have been mother-daughter again this lifetime, you know?
you're like, oh, you again. Like my mother, who's not here, she's been my mother for a few lifetimes, and I've been her daughter, and she's been vice versa. And let me tell you, sometimes it's triggering, you know. So I'm like, you again, just a little, just a little. And I love my mother, which is why I can make that too. But I'm still like, oh boy. So now you guys don't know each other, so you can have this conversation and see in your own life what's relevant, what's not, what you experience. And Ilana, maybe, like with no, like that's a place to share because it'll feel really liberating. So
Okay, I'd like to do that.
Right.
yeah, yeah, so good. And maybe we'll check in with you, another week and see how, because it's so fascinating. You don't have to share all the details, but it's so interesting to hear the follow-up and what you notice and what you see, when we make these soul connections.
Yeah, because the thing is, when we work with people, we work long term, so we get to see the results of what we do. But if you're in tea time, it's kind of random, so it's great so that people actually see that it's not just talk, that actually it translates to real changes, in real life. So that's great.
Yeah. So, yeah. So thank you both so much for,
Thank you.
coming here and sharing that
Thank
dynamic.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. So I think, Tehilla, I think we're kind of like out of
Yeah,
time.
every time this is more than an hour.
I know. But
Yeah.
but then with us, we talk for more than an hour too. It's like hours and hours. So,
Yeah. Okay.
for days. So, okay, well, we're so happy for everybody who's here. We're going to post the recording. Make sure you join, the WhatsApp group, or you can look on our website, Live the Passion Project. And Tehilla and we do private sessions. We have other groups that we do different types of offerings. And so the best way to look at that is either in the group or on the website. And if you have other people who you think would love this or connect to this, we always ask because this is the community that has to kind of grow itself somewhat. And so, just like we did this event and random people kind of showed up, that's how people connect is through random people that are on similar resonances with different things to heal or grow or learn from each other. So, yeah, so we want to just thank you guys.
So we'll
Thanks
see
a
you
lot.
next week on tea
Yeah.
time.
Yep, exactly.
Alive in Wonderland.
Exactly. Thank you guys. Have such a great day. Take care. Bye.
Bye. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.